Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Respect doesn't come from demanding or pleasing others, but from the way you live, with discipline, integrity, and self-respect. However, there are habits silently undermining your value. Let's uncover 6 habits you must eliminate today to build self-worth and earn the respect you truly deserve. Don't forget to hit subscribe to stay updated with inspiring Stoic philosophy content. Are you ready to take the first step on the journey to self-improvement, remove what holds you back, and achieve the respect you deserve? Let's dive in together. So number 1, cultivating excuses. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This profound statement reflects one of the most practical teachings of Stoicism, the power of personal accountability. Respect, a quality so deeply sought after, is not given freely. It is not won by excuses or explanations. Respect comes from the discipline of owning your life, your actions, and your outcomes. And yet, so many of us fall into the habit of making excuses, unknowingly eroding the very respect we wish to gain. Excuses are like a slow poison to your credibility. When you constantly justify mistakes or failures by blaming external factors, you are signaling to the world that you lack control over your life, whether it's the traffic that made you late, the co-worker who didn't deliver on time, or even life's unexpected circumstances. The result is the same. You didn't meet expectations. While your reasons may be valid, they are irrelevant in the eyes of those around you. People don't respect reasons, they respect results. This harsh truth is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. The idea that we should focus not on what is outside our control, but on our response to it. I learned this the hard way. There was a time when I was full of excuses. I would show up late to meetings and blame it on heavy traffic. I would miss deadlines and cite unforeseen challenges. I thought these justifications shielded me from judgment. After all, I had a reason, didn't I? But over time, I noticed something unsettling. Friends stopped relying on me. Colleagues didn't entrust me with important projects. Even my family began to second-guess my commitments. The issue wasn't the validity of my excuses, it was the perception that I wasn't reliable. One day, after arriving late to a meeting yet again and offering my standard traffic excuse, a colleague bluntly said, "Why didn't you leave earlier?" At that moment, it hit me. I was the problem, not the world around me. My constant excuses were not just explanations, they were declarations of my lack of accountability. And accountability, as it turns out, is the foundation of respect. People respect those who take ownership, not those who deflect responsibility. Stoic philosophy challenges us to embrace this uncomfortable truth. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Every time we make an excuse, we relinquish our power to external forces. We paint ourselves as victims of circumstance, rather than masters of our fate. But the moment we stop making excuses, we reclaim that power. When you own your mistakes without deflecting, something remarkable happens. People start to trust you again, and they see that you are in control of your life and that you are willing to grow. Imagine this scenario. You're late to a meeting, but instead of blaming traffic, you simply say, "I'm sorry for being late. I should have planned better, and it won't happen again." That simple act of owning the mistake transforms how others perceive you. It shows maturity, accountability, and a willingness to improve. Contrast this with someone who habitually blames outside factors. Over time, their excuses lose credibility, and they are seen as unreliable and weak. But let's dig deeper. Why do we make excuses in the first place? Often, it's rooted in fear. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. By deflecting responsibility, we think we're protecting ourselves. Yet, in reality, we're doing the opposite. Every excuse chips away at our self-respect and the respect others have for us. Stoicism teaches us to face these fears head-on. By acknowledging our mistakes, we confront our imperfections and take the first step toward growth. There's another layer to this. Excuses are a mindset, not just words. When you habitually make excuses, you adopt a victim mentality. You start believing that your life is dictated by circumstances rather than your own choices. This mindset is dangerous because it keeps you stagnant. On the other hand, when you take responsibility, you empower yourself to change. You move from a place of helplessness to a place of action. And this shift doesn't just earn you respect, it transforms your life. The journey to eliminating excuses is not easy, but it is liberating. Start small. The next time you're tempted to explain away a mistake, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what could I have done differently? Own the situation, even if it's uncomfortable. Over time, this habit of accountability will become second nature. You'll notice people treating you differently, with more trust, more admiration, and yes, more respect. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This call to action is as relevant today as it was centuries ago. Respect begins with self-respect, and self-respect begins with accountability. When you stop making excuses and start taking ownership of your life, you embody the principles of Stoicism in their purest form. You become someone others look up to, not because you are perfect, but because you're responsible. So, here's the question: what excuses are holding you back from earning the respect you deserve? Are you ready to face them, own them, and take the first step toward becoming the person you're meant to be? The choice is yours. So number 2. Laziness is the enemy of respect. Epictetus once said, "No one is a slave unless they choose to be." This thought-provoking statement reminds us that we are the only ones who can determine our value and chart our own path. However, when you succumb to laziness, you not only stall your own growth but also lose opportunities to earn respect and recognition from others. Let's confront the issue head-on. Laziness can never be justified by talent or potential. The truth is, you may be the smartest person in the room, but if you don't take action, those around you will only see wasted potential. Action, not promises, is what defines who you are and what you deserve. In the past, I believed that talent alone was enough to earn respect. I would often approach tasks by doing the bare minimum, assuming I could get by with just the essentials. Yet, during those times, those around me only noticed my lack of effort. I vividly recall participating in a group project where everyone contributed significantly, but I only offered minimal input. When the project was presented, my lack of effort stood out clearly in comparison to others. The disappointed looks from my teammates made me realize that I hadn't just lost their respect, I had also lost respect for myself. Laziness cannot be hidden. Others will notice when you avoid responsibilities or shy away from challenges. The consequences are undeniable. You become someone from whom little is expected, and that is a dead end for earning respect. People respect those who consistently put in the effort, even when immediate results are not guaranteed. Laziness is an act of self-sabotage. It not only robs you of present opportunities, but also diminishes your ability to grow. Stoicism reminds us that the key to respect lies here. Take action, even when it is difficult. Every day, ask yourself this question: have I done everything I can today to the best of my ability? Marcus Aurelius once said, "What is easy is rarely valuable. What is worthwhile is seldom easy." When you overcome laziness, you not only gain the respect of others, but also discover your true value and potential. So, here's the question. Are you ready to confront laziness, take action to transform yourself, and become the person you are meant to be? The decision is yours. So number 3, the importance of personal appearance. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity." This timeless wisdom serves as a reminder that every action we take, no matter how small, contributes to the legacy we leave behind. One such action, often overlooked, is how we present ourselves to the world. Your personal appearance is not about vanity or superficiality. It is a reflection of how much you respect yourself and those around you. Let's confront a simple truth. People form impressions based on what they see. While it may seem shallow, the reality is that your appearance communicates volumes before you even speak. It tells the world whether you value yourself, your work, and your relationships. Neglecting your personal appearance signals that you don't care, and if you don't care about yourself, why should anyone else? Stoicism teaches us that external factors are not inherently good or bad, but rather it's our perception and use of them that matter. In the same vein, personal appearance is not about expensive clothes or chasing trends. It's about self-discipline and intentionality. By taking care of yourself, you show that you take life seriously, that you respect the opportunities you have been given, and that you value the people you interact with. There was a time when I believed that how I looked didn't matter. I thought people should value me for my skills, intelligence, or character alone. I would roll out of bed, throw on wrinkled clothes, and step into the day without much thought about my presentation. But the reactions I received were telling. In meetings, I wasn't taken seriously. In social settings, I didn't command attention or respect. It wasn't until I started making small, consistent changes, ironing my shirts, grooming regularly, and wearing clothes that fit well, that I noticed a shift in how others treated me. Suddenly I was being heard, noticed, and, most importantly, respected. Why does this matter? Because your appearance is a form of non-verbal communication. It's not about being perfect or flashy. It's about showing effort. Effort is contagious, and it sets a standard. When you present yourself well, you encourage others to rise to the occasion, fostering mutual respect and collaboration. Neglecting your appearance, on the other hand, creates barriers. It silently tells others that you might neglect your work, relationships, or responsibilities in the same way. But let's go deeper. Taking care of your appearance is more than just about how others perceive you. It's about how you perceive yourself. When you take time to groom, dress intentionally, and care for your body, you're reinforcing your own self-worth. It's a daily act of saying, "I matter and I'm worth the effort." This simple mindset shift can have profound effects on your confidence, your decision-making, and even your productivity. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of discipline in all areas of life. Just as you would discipline your mind to think rationally or your emotions to remain steady, disciplining yourself to maintain a respectable appearance is equally vital. It's not about vanity. It's about living intentionally and authentically. When you respect yourself, others will naturally follow suit. It's also important to note that taking care of your appearance doesn't mean striving for perfection or extravagance. It's about effort and consistency. A neatly pressed shirt, clean shoes, and a well-groomed hairstyle can do wonders in how you're perceived. These small actions demonstrate that you value not only yourself, but also the time and presence of those around you. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. While we cannot control how others perceive us entirely, we can influence their perceptions through our actions. Your personal appearance is one of the most straightforward ways to project confidence, discipline, and self-respect. So, here's the question. How do you want to be seen by the world? And what message are you sending through your appearance today? Are you presenting yourself as someone who values their life and relationships, or are you letting neglect speak louder than your intentions? The choice is yours, and the impact is profound. So number 4, respecting personal boundaries. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This timeless wisdom teaches us the importance of paying attention to others, understanding their needs, and respecting their space. In a world where connection often blurs the lines between closeness and overstepping, the ability to honor personal boundaries is a hallmark of wisdom, respect, and emotional maturity. Let's start with a simple truth. Disrespecting someone's boundaries, whether intentional or accidental, destroys trust. Trust, the cornerstone of all meaningful relationships, cannot thrive in an environment where boundaries are ignored. When you push too far, offer unsolicited advice, or intrude on someone's personal space, you're not showing care or concern, you're signaling a lack of respect for their autonomy. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate relationships rooted in mutual respect, and respecting boundaries is a fundamental part of this practice. I've learned this lesson the hard way. In my younger years, I believed that being overly involved in someone's life was a sign of caring. I would check in constantly, give advice even when it wasn't asked for, and insert myself into situations thinking I was being helpful. But the reactions I received were far from grateful. Instead, friends and colleagues started distancing themselves. One close friend even told me, "I feel like you don't respect my space." It was a painful but necessary wake-up call. Boundaries are not barriers. They are bridges to healthy relationships. When someone sets a boundary, they are not rejecting you. They are expressing their needs and defining their comfort zone. By honoring these boundaries, you show that you value their well-being and trust their ability to manage their own lives. This builds stronger connections, fosters genuine respect, and creates a safe space for both parties to thrive. But why do we sometimes struggle to respect boundaries? Often, it stems from our own insecurities or misplaced intentions. We may fear losing closeness with someone or believe that our involvement is necessary for their well-being. However, Stoicism reminds us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and attitudes. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You cannot control how others set their boundaries, but you can control how you respond to them. Practically speaking, respecting boundaries requires active listening and self-awareness. When someone expresses their limits, listen without judgment or defensiveness. Avoid taking their boundaries personally. Instead, view them as an opportunity to deepen your understanding of the relationship. Self-awareness is equally critical. Reflect on your own behaviors and ask yourself if you might be overstepping or imposing on others. This practice of mindfulness is a core tenet of Stoicism, helping you align your actions with your values. There is also an element of reciprocity in respecting boundaries. Just as you honor others' limits, you must also communicate your own. Clear, honest communication about your boundaries not only protects your mental and emotional space, but also sets an example for others to follow. It's a two-way street. When both parties respect and uphold boundaries, relationships become more balanced and fulfilling. Let's consider a workplace example. Imagine a colleague who prefers working independently but finds themselves inundated with unsolicited feedback or constant interruptions. Over time, their productivity and trust in the team deteriorate because their boundaries are not respected. Conversely, when team members honor their need for focus and autonomy, collaboration improves and mutual respect grows. This dynamic applies to all areas of life, from friendships to family relationships. Respecting boundaries is also a profound act of humility. It acknowledges that we don't have all the answers and that others are capable of making decisions for themselves. It's a practice of stepping back, letting go of control, and allowing space for others to grow and flourish. As Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." By respecting boundaries, we open ourselves to learning and growing alongside others. So, how can you start incorporating this principle into your daily life? Begin by observing your interactions. Are you listening more than you speak? Are you paying attention to verbal and non-verbal cues that indicate someone's boundaries? Practice pausing before you act or speak, especially in emotionally charged situations. A moment of reflection can make all the difference between overstepping and honoring someone's space. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Respecting boundaries is a simple yet profound way to embody this wisdom. It's not about being perfect, but about striving to show respect, empathy, and understanding in every interaction. Here's the question. How often do you pause to consider the boundaries of others, and how might your relationships improve if you made this a daily practice? Are you ready to honor the space others need to feel respected, valued, and safe? The choice is yours and the rewards are immeasurable. So number 5, the true cost of stealing credit. Epictetus once said, "No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer you that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen." This timeless wisdom reminds us that true success is built on a foundation of integrity, effort, and collaboration. However, when someone takes credit for the work of others, they undermine not only their team, but also their own reputation and character. This act, often seen as a shortcut to success, is one of the quickest ways to erode trust and respect. At its core, stealing credit is not just unethical. It's a betrayal of the principles that Stoicism holds dear. The philosophy teaches us to act with virtue, honor, and transparency in all aspects of life. When we fail to acknowledge the contributions of others, we fail ourselves. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." Taking undue credit places us squarely among those who prioritize self-interest over fairness and collaboration. Why does stealing credit happen? Often it stems from insecurity or a misguided belief that recognition equals worth. People who take credit for others' work may feel they need to inflate their contributions to stand out. Yet, this behavior is short-sighted. In the long run, the truth almost always comes to light, and the damage to one's reputation can be irreversible. Colleagues begin to lose trust, opportunities for genuine collaboration dry up, and a reputation for dishonesty takes root. Let's consider a workplace scenario. Imagine a team that has worked tirelessly on a project, only for one member to take all the credit during the final presentation. Initially, this person may receive praise and recognition. But over time, the team's resentment grows, and their willingness to collaborate diminishes. When leadership eventually uncovers the truth, the individual's actions not only harm their career but also erode the morale and cohesion of the entire team. The ripple effects of dishonesty spread far and wide. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of community and mutual respect. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What injures the hive injures the bee." Taking credit for someone else's work is not just a personal failing, it's a violation of the trust and harmony that make any group or relationship function effectively. True leaders and respected individuals uplift those around them, celebrating team successes and fostering a culture of mutual recognition. But how do we avoid falling into the trap of taking undue credit? It begins with self-awareness and humility. Recognize that success is rarely achieved in isolation. Every achievement is built on the efforts, insights, and support of others. Acknowledge this truth openly. When you share credit, you don't diminish your role. Instead, you amplify your integrity and build stronger connections. Practicing transparency is another critical step. Be clear about your contributions and those of others. In meetings, presentations, or reports, make it a point to highlight the work of your teammates. This not only demonstrates your ethical values, but also strengthens trust within the group. Remember, respect is earned through actions that reflect honesty and fairness. Taking responsibility for your own shortcomings is equally important. If you've been guilty of taking credit unfairly, acknowledge it. Apologize sincerely to those affected and make amends by ensuring their efforts are recognized. Stoicism teaches us that growth comes from facing our flaws, not avoiding them. As Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Admitting mistakes is a sign of strength, not weakness. When you honor the contributions of others, you foster an environment of trust and collaboration. This, in turn, leads to greater success for everyone involved. Teams become more cohesive, relationships deepen, and respect flourishes. Moreover, you build a legacy of integrity that far outweighs any fleeting recognition gained from dishonest actions. Let's not forget the personal benefits of living with honesty and transparency. A clear conscience brings peace of mind. When you know you've acted with integrity, you can navigate life with confidence and self-respect. The external accolades may come and go, but the internal satisfaction of living virtuously remains. So, here's the question: are you prioritizing short-term recognition over long-term respect? How might your relationships and career improve if you consistently celebrated the contributions of others and acted with unwavering honesty? The choice is yours, and the impact on both yourself and those around you is profound. So number 6, mastering emotional control. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This profound reminder from Stoic philosophy highlights the importance of controlling our internal responses to external situations. In a world filled with stress, conflict, and unexpected challenges, emotional control is not just a virtue, it is a necessity. Losing control of your emotions not only undermines your credibility, but also reveals a lack of maturity and resilience. On the other hand, the ability to remain calm in all situations commands respect and inspires trust. Let's start with a simple truth. Emotional outbursts often stem from a sense of powerlessness. When we allow anger, frustration, or fear to dictate our actions, we signal to the world that we are not in control of ourselves. This loss of control can damage relationships, tarnish reputations, and close doors to opportunities. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. This is where true strength lies. Consider a moment in your life when you reacted emotionally to a challenging situation. Perhaps you raised your voice during an argument, lashed out at a colleague, or let frustration cloud your judgment. How did others perceive you in that moment? Most likely they saw someone who was overwhelmed, reactive, and perhaps even unreliable. These instances can leave lasting impressions that are difficult to undo. Emotional reactivity creates a ripple effect, eroding trust and respect over time. Stoicism offers a powerful antidote to emotional overreaction, mindfulness, and perspective. By training yourself to pause and reflect before reacting, you can transform even the most difficult situations into opportunities for growth and wisdom. Epictetus advised, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle encourages us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors, rather than being consumed by what lies beyond our influence. The path to emotional control begins with self-awareness. Pay attention to your emotional triggers and patterns. What situations tend to provoke anger, frustration, or anxiety? Once you've identified these triggers, you can begin to prepare yourself to respond more constructively. This preparation might involve deep breathing, counting to 10, or reframing the situation in a more positive light. These simple techniques create a buffer between stimulus and response, allowing your rational mind to take the lead. Equally important is the practice of gratitude and perspective-taking. Stoics often remind us to step back and view challenges in the grander scheme of things. Marcus Aurelius urged us to ask ourselves, will this matter in a month, a year, a decade? This exercise can diffuse intense emotions and remind us of the impermanence of most difficulties. By adopting a broader perspective, we can approach challenges with clarity and composure. Another cornerstone of Stoic philosophy is the recognition of our shared humanity. Everyone experiences anger, fear, and disappointment. By acknowledging this, we can cultivate empathy and patience both for ourselves and for others. When someone provokes you, consider that they too may be struggling with their own challenges. Responding with understanding instead of hostility not only preserves your dignity, but also strengthens your relationships. Emotional control does not mean suppressing your feelings or pretending they don't exist. Instead, it involves acknowledging your emotions without letting them dictate your actions. This balance is what sets truly strong individuals apart. They don't deny their humanity. They transcend it by aligning their responses with their values and long-term goals. The benefits of mastering emotional control are profound. In professional settings, calm and collected individuals are often entrusted with leadership roles and important responsibilities. In personal relationships, emotional steadiness fosters trust, respect, and deeper connections. Most importantly, maintaining control over your emotions enhances your self-respect and confidence. When you know you can handle life's challenges without losing your composure, you become truly empowered. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. This wisdom underscores the ultimate freedom we have in choosing how we interpret and respond to the world around us. So, here's the question. How often do you allow your emotions to control your actions, and what might your life look like if you consistently chose composure over chaos? Are you ready to take the first step toward mastering emotional control and becoming the person others admire and trust? The choice is yours, and the transformation begins today. Respect is not gained through surface-level actions, but through embracing core values and cultivating positive habits. Behaviors like making excuses, being lazy, taking credit for others' work, or losing emotional control can undermine your self-worth and reputation. However, when you take responsibility, care for yourself, honor others, and maintain composure, you'll earn respect not only from others, but also from yourself. If this message resonates with you, remember to subscribe to our channel, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Let's work together to build a life filled with growth and mutual respect.